Now, ever since the debut of all the trailers for Snow White 2025 by the Walt Disney Company, it is at that moment that they realized that the backlash was so large that they really could not contain any of it, to the point that this is exactly why they are canceling many different events. They canceled the UK premiere. They also withdrawed. They actually dialed back or scaled back, whatever have you, for the US premiere of Snow White, where everything is going to be more or less of a private event that is going to take very few questions related to interviews for Rachel Zegler, for Gal Gadot, and many of the other cast members associated with this project. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new, and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, one very great thing about South Park Studios and Paramount is that they really do come out with by far one of the best parodies out there when it comes to South Park. You know, they are very much, a studio that likes to poke fun at both sides equally, and we know at the same exact time as well that the Panderverse, you guys may recall back in October of 2023, that big special really woke up a lot of people in the general public for what Disney and what they're really all about and what they are doing with their ongoing agenda, their ongoing ideology. Now, this is where things begin to truly pick up when it comes down to what they recently did toward Rachel Zegler, toward Snow White 25, and the Walt Disney Company in general. Let's discuss, shall we? Now, what's interesting about this is that, yes, we know that Trey Parker and Matt Stone, they are really trying to go all in when it comes to many of the events that occurred in 2024 and things that are beginning to unfold in 2025 for this upcoming new DEI special that they are planning to debut by this August. Now, with the Walt Disney Company still engaging in damage control for their upcoming film Snow White, one monumental development that is now active involves more to do with both South Park Studios and Paramount, and what they recently did toward both Zegler and the Disney Company for their Snow White film. It turns out that both Trey Parker and Matt Stone are already preparing for the DEI special that is set to serve as a sequel to the Panderverse, with elements of the streaming wars in the mix. Now, one major part of the parody plot will involve the mockery of actress Rachel Zegler as Snow White, where they will also use the multiverse to bring in other variants of Snow White to go into a battle against each other in full-on Avengers style from the Marvel Universe. This is set to include the Brothers Grimm version of Snow White, the 1937 original version, Kristen Stewart's, and most of all, Rachel Zegler's, to create a parody of both Snow White and the multiverse. Now, both Parker and Stone are already in the creative phase to mock Zegler's comments on the famous weird statement that she made in 2022. The DEI special will not only focus on Zegler's Snow White, but also the viral moments of Zegler's career while promoting Snow White, and how Meghan Markle will also be thrown into the mix as well. Now, both Parker and Stone are also set to mock Bob Iger, the Disney CEO, the one that destroyed the Disney Company by hiring Rachel Zegler and keeping Kathleen Kennedy in business over at Lucasfilm. Now, for the Snow White film, and they are also reportedly actually getting ready to release the film and its performance to create more material for the DEI special, hence why Parker and Stone are taking their very much time on this. The special is also set to focus on a parody of DEI hires in not just Disney, but also other production studios within the film industry, within the Hollywood bubble, if you want to. Now, South Park is also set to mock both Kamala Harris and Donald Trump in different ways within this new special that they plan to drop by this August. What's surprising is that the Walt Disney Company is fully aware about this parody that's in the works through their contacts that they hold at Paramount, who is also working with South Park Studios very closely in its creators Parker and Stone, and those like Bob Iger and the Disney Board of Directors fear that this will indeed create even more damage than the Panderverse did back in October of 2023 when it exposed Disney and Kathleen Kennedy in the most direct way possible. Now, you guys may recall, back in October of 2023, when they did that Panderverse special, it really woke a lot of people up. It really kind of exposed Disney for who they really are, what they're really all about when it comes to the ongoing ideology, the agenda, the messaging, if you will. Everything to do with DEI was exposed in that episode to a certain degree. And they even really exposed Kathleen Kennedy to the point that she herself really got very angry toward Paramount and South Park. She tried to create a lawsuit against them to no avail, and that's because parody is illegal. You really have no case there. And so many have tried against South Park and failed, and Bob Iger is going to try again. We'll talk more about that in just a second. But what's interesting here is that they are going all out on Rachel Zegler. They're going all out on the Snow White character herself by really mocking the multiverse, by mocking the Marvel Cinematic Universe all in one, while also kind of bringing in Meghan Markle as Megzilla, essentially. That's what they're planning to do by making her the successor of Mecha Streisand. You guys may recall that in the very early seasons of South Park. But what's interesting about this further is that this time around, they are still set to go all out on Rachel Zegler, Meghan Markle, Sunny Hostin, Kamala Harris, and so many more to highlight the moments in 2024 and this year. Bob Iger is already attempting to put a halt to Paramount from moving ahead with the special. However, there is literally nothing that they can do with any form of a lawsuit since parody is completely legal. Bob Iger already tried to do this back in 23 and failed. The parody version of Rachel Zegler will also involve a full-on parody of one of the songs that she will sing in the new Snow White film that includes lyrics such as "Whistle While You Work." Now, let me just stop there for a second. Now, the song that they are choosing to create a parody on, I think is excellent. The fact that they are choosing that song that includes lyrics of "Listen while you work," right? Now, whistle, I should say, while you work. It's a very interesting thing that Parker and Stone are going for right now. The fact that they are doubling down on this Snow White movie, I think, has a lot to do with the fact that they know it, and we know it, that this is going to be a very monumental moment in March of this year, where it will most likely be the largest flop in Disney history. If you kind of look at it in a very ironic way, Snow White 1937 made Disney. Snow White 2025 could very much potentially end Disney as we know it, to the point that it will force them to do a lot of different things moving forward, or just ending Disney live-action remakes in general. Now, the parody version of Rachel Zegler will also involve a full-on parody of one of the songs that she will sing, like I said before, and how that's going to be twisted. The lyrics will be twisted around to fit South Park's theme. The main reason why Parker and Stone are taking their time on this special is that they want to wait until the film arrives and make its way into theaters to witness the overall reaction from the general public and from those that are tuning into the movie. Now, again, we know that the damage control, I think, is going to be out of whack when it comes to the release of this movie on the 21st. You're going to see a lot of things by Bob Iger, Rachel Zegler, director Mark Webb of the series, or of the movie, I should say, and you're going to see more from Greta Gerwig, the writer of this film, that's really, I believe, going to really try to go into damage control, just like how she did with other past projects. But again, I mean, I've said this once and I'll say it again. This movie really is something that they could have prevented at the very minimum. They could have just put this on Disney Plus if they wanted to. They could have saved themselves the torture of putting this thing out in theaters, and they really could have worked something out. But at the end of the day, they know it, and we are very fully aware about this, that they spent way too much money on this thing. Well over $300 million when it came to the budget. That's not including marketing expenses. Just let that sink in for a moment there. But overall, I would like to hear what you all have to say about South Park and what they're doing with this DEI special that's set to drop by this August and set to be announced in just a couple of months' time. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.